Hello everyone, my name is Vineet Mehta and today we are going to be talking about this brand new feature called Shared Flows. Shared Flows will enable you to share and reuse best practices across teams. Let's find out how do we do that. As you can see, I already have an API proxy called Payments which is connecting to my finance backend and giving me all the payment information. What is missing here is some security policies which I would want to add. Now I can either add those security policies directly here at an API proxy, or I can create a flow as a best practice which can be used not only here but can be referenced across different APIs or maybe even used by different API teams. Let's find out how do we do that. As you can see, right under the API proxies options, we now have this new option called Shared Flows. Let's see what that is. Now let me go ahead and create a new shared flow which is about some basic security controls. Let's give the same description here. As you can see, it has a very similar development and deployment feel and life cycle like an API proxy. So let's keep it to test for now. And a very similar develop tab like a proxy, but just with one single flow, which you can attach sequential executable policies. Let me add a verify API key. I might also want to do some access control. I might also want to protect my backend against spikes. And maybe we can add some Coda as well. Let's go ahead and save this. So what we just did is that we created a shareable, referenceable security flow. Now, as we initially wanted to reference that flow in my payments API, let's find out how do we do that. Along with shared flows, we also introduced a new policy called flow callouts. What it does is that it references the shared flow that we just created. Callout basic security flow. Let's keep the same name here, and basic security controls. Let's go ahead and save this. Now let me go ahead and make an API call and see what happens. It looks like it went through the flow that we created and it's looking for a valid API key. Let's give it a valid API key and see what happens. All right, it looks like it executed each and every policy we had in our basic security controls shared flow, but maybe it's missing something. It looks like this particular finance backend needs an access token, which I'm not providing here. Now I can either code and write the logic of orchestrating of getting that token all in this proxy or a shared flow, or let me just see if there is already an existing shared flow to do that. It looks like one of my teammates might have already used this flow before, and let's see. Let's try and reference this shared flow in payments proxy and see what happens. Again, let's use the flow callout policy. Let's say callout finance backend and use the already existing shared flow that somebody has already created here. Now let me go here and make the same call again. It worked. So what we just saw is that we created a new best practice around security, and we also used an already existing best practice for accessing the finance backend. Now think of the use cases like logging, like common mediation, common orchestration, which can be shared and reused across API proxies as best practices and maybe even across teams. We have some awesome documentation for shared flows. Check this new feature out and let us know how you like it. Thank you.